we never know what's going to happen anyways. We just start these things, and wherever it takes us, it takes us.
This is where it's going to take us. Welcome back to the Talking Average Fitness Podcast, everybody. My name is Sam. I'm joined, as always, by the person I'm very, very slowly convincing that it's a good idea to wrap their fucking thumbs around a bar, Mr. Kevin McCarthy. Kevin, how are you today, sir?
I wrapped my thumbs around the bar when I was doing my strict toes to par.
I know, because you have to, probably.
Yeah, pretty much. It'd be many much harder with I was just gonna say it'd be many much harder without wrapping your thumb, and I know exactly where your brain's gonna go with that. So you don't need to say it. I already in my head. I have. See, here's the thing: is in my time knowing Sam, in my journey of knowing Sam, this as the friendship has grown and evolved and grown again, and like I have garnered a mini Sam in my head that when I'm thinking of things or going through things or I have an idea pop in my head, my small mini version of Sam that lives in my head then speaks to me in Sam's voice. And it's just as annoying as when he speaks to me in person. It's just like him. So I already have the mini Sam. We're like, well, if it's easier with a strict toes to bar, wouldn't it make it easier with kipping movements? And I don't need you to tell me. I got mini Sam up there saying it, and to which I still say, fuck you, sit back there.
Well, it's funny that you use that language, because I've had that described to me by other people.
What, that they have like a mini Sam in their head?
They have a mini Sam in their head.
See, this is what you do to people. When somewhere when there's like, they're like, well, how come like the number of patients in a psychiatric ward just skyrocketed? What's one commonality? They're all friends with this guy named Sam Burns.
Right. Who is this person Sam they're all talking about? It's fucking patient zero.
Like, I'm pretty sure you're making him up, guys. Like
there is no Sam. Sam doesn't exist.
There is no Sam. He doesn't exist. He can't hurt you in here. I don't think you understand. All I have in my head is wrap your fucking thumb.
I don't even understand where it comes from. I've never wrapped my thumbs, and I know it's wrong.
Yeah.
So we did, as you could probably surmise, Kevin said, hit the go button, and we're not going to know where we are, except I know what we're talking about.
I don't.
So this came across the morning chalk up, which I
know what we're going to talk about.
You know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I saw it.
I've got the actual, do you have the subscription to the morning chalk up?
No.
Okay. Don't worry. I've got it solved. So the morning chalk up is, and I mean this as politely as possible, is a huge distraction for the CrossFit community.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yes.
Basically, they're like a media outlet that reports, I'm going to use in air quotes for those listening, news about in the CrossFit space. And that, like, I don't know exactly how they have a structure. I'm assuming it's similar to like a CrossFit Journal type thing where they have like multiple writers that will like write an article, submit it, and then off they go. And they've got some interesting takes, some interesting articles that pop up and come through there. Most of which I disagree with, or I'm just like, why are we wasting time quote unquote reporting on this? It's not new. It's not news. It's just noise.
If the DPRK, the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea, talked about CrossFit, like in the same vein of, this is genuinely news and not propaganda, that might be an iteration of the morning chalk up. But anyway, so one of the headlines for the morning chalk up recently was CrossFit is over, or rather is CrossFit over. And what they were talking about is they're talking about this email that went out to Mayhem affiliates. Mm-hmm. Did you read the full article, or do you have the access to that?
I've read the excerpt. I don't have access to the article that Mayhem published, but I know what it's about. It was basically Mayhem, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I read, it was that Mayhem kind of like compiled some data, and it was that like over the course of time, and I can't remember what span of time they were at, but like essentially the number of Google searches for CrossFit related terms has gone down significantly in recent years. And so basically posing the question, like, is CrossFit over?
Right. Well, so I have access to the email, and so I'm going to read the email. And
this is the email from Mayhem, right?
This
like
is the
Mayhem
email
to their
from
affiliates.
Mayhem to their affiliates, right?
Okay, hit me.
So it reads, "Good morning, Mayhem Nation. Oh, CrossFit, where do we start? CrossFit has been a game changer in the world of fitness, but lately we've noticed some shifts in the landscape. It's a question worth pondering. Where is CrossFit headed? and what does the future hold, which is absolutely 100% true.
That's
like
fair.
there's some stuff going on, and they're going through some growing pains. And so they say, taking a closer look, we found something intriguing. Google searches for CrossFit and CrossFit affiliated gyms have declined in 2023 compared to previous years. Now, they don't give a factor by like how much, right?
Okay.
So like any decline would be satisfied by that statement. Fewer people are seeking CrossFit related content and information. That seems like a bold statement. While more CrossFit gyms are closing their doors, then new ones are opening. Negative growth. That's a trend that's concerning. So that's also a bold statement. That makes me wonder, like, what data do you have access to?
I don't know. That's interesting because, well, they're saying that more CrossFit gyms are closing than are opening.
That is the exact words are. Fewer people are seeking CrossFit related content and information, while more CrossFit gyms are closing their doors than new ones are opening.
I would love to know where they're pulling that data from, but I also can't confidently say like, no, that's false, because they're like, with the landscape, everything in the fitness space, there is a chance that there are more CrossFit gyms closing than are opening. And again, to your point from the, at what marker they were using for like a decline, like how much of a change it is. Like if it was one more CrossFit gym has closed than opened, then that trend and that statement is valid. You're muted.
Thank you.
There you go.
And honestly, first of all, that's valid. And honestly, even if it's one, negative growth for a business, period, any kind of negative growth is not a good thing. So
not what you're looking for.
Yeah, like CrossFit is a business. First of all, we want more people to get the wonderful benefits of CrossFit and coaching and blah, blah, blah. But also, like, it's a business. They need to survive.
Well, I mean, was it Don Fall's statement when he was taking over was that he wanted 30 million people doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
And the thing that's rough about that is there's 30 million people. There's 13,000 affiliates worldwide, right about there.
We're
14, like just looking for
that's my understanding.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 14,000 affiliates worldwide.
Only 4 of those in America.
4,000. Only 4 of what? Oh, 4,000 of those in America.
Only 4,000 in America.
Okay. Gotcha. So of 14,000 affiliates around the world, and you want 30 million CrossFitters, the math doesn't math. And this is actually like Hiller put up a post. It might have been in response to the Morning Chocolate thing where he was like, Don Fall wants 30 million people doing CrossFit, and we only have 14,000 affiliates. That would equate to, it was like 2,500 something people per affiliate if that were to match up. And then he referenced something that like Don Fall said, like, we just need more people doing CrossFit. We don't necessarily need more affiliates. And he was like, excuse me, the math doesn't math because no affiliate can handle 2,500 members, except maybe CrossFit Clue.
Let me see.
I think it was on Hiller's Instagram, but I could also be high.
It could be in a lot of places.
I may have made it up. Because of course Hiller's Instagram now is HillerFit 2.0.
Yes, because he got shadow banned.
Fuck it off.
It's not on his thing. It could be in a story.
I remember seeing it somewhere as either a story or a post where he was like, he referenced Don Fall's statement about that he wanted 30 million CrossFitters, but he didn't necessarily want more CrossFit affiliates. Yeah, but that there's 14,000 affiliates, and that if you do the math, like 30 million divided by the 14,000 is like, 2,500. It wasn't an even number, but like 2,500 some odd people per affiliate. And he was like, we need more affiliates, homie. Like if we want 30 million people being affected by CrossFit, you need more affiliates, you know? And to that point, like if CrossFit is losing more affiliates than it's opening, then we're going in the wrong direction. If we want more people being affected by CrossFit and being able to do CrossFit, and we need more affiliates, we need more coaches. It's a all intertwined web, because I mean, the stuff that we've talked about in Fit Affiliate, and you guys with the $1 Million Coach podcast talk about, like if you want more affiliates, you want more coaches, people need to be able to make money and be able to like run a sustainable business and yada.
So the comment is he wants 30 million affiliates by 2030, or 30 million CrossFitters by 2030, right?
Oh.
30 million CrossFitters by 2030.
Okay, that's wow. That's a lot of
separately. Yeah. He said in another podcast, at least according to Hiller, our goal is not to increase the number of affiliates.
Okay, so
yeah. And so he says the comment is Don's plan appears to be ramming those 30 million into 13,000 affiliates. Last I checked, the 5,000 square foot affiliate couldn't fit 2,307 members.
Yeah.
And so he's not wrong, but also
nope.
Obviously affiliate growth has to happen. For
1,000%.
For CrossFit to stay viable as a business, there need to be more affiliates, period.
Yes.
And so let's say there's 30 million CrossFitters, right? So we'll do a little math is mathing. 30 million. Okay. So I got a little calculator. Let's assume we get
150 members per gym.
Let's call it 180. I was going to say 200, but let's split the difference.
Yeah,
right?
So 180. I'm good with that.
180
100
per gym, right? Yep. That's
for anyone not watching, if you could have seen the look on Sam's face, his eyeballs just like a cartoon just went, holy fuck.
We need
a number. How many affiliates?
160,000. We need more than 10 times. More than 10 times the number of current affiliates.
Wow.
That's
bigger than I thought it was going to be for a number.
So here's the problem, right?
So
let's say you get that number, 160,000 affiliates, right?
160 or 106?
160. It's actually 166 point, repeating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call it 100. Let's call it 167,000, right?
Wow. Yep. Okay.
How many? So you've worked as full-time member or full-time trainer in several affiliates. How many full-time trainers do you think an affiliate requires to have on hand in order to service a population of 180?
So if we got 180 members, let's again making an assumption. Let's assume 8 classes a day. You got kind of like a 4 in the morning, 4 in the evening, or
2 or 3 in the afternoon, 1 in the morning, 1 in midday.
Yep. So if we assume 8 classes, because that's been kind of
let's call it 7 and split the difference.
7, 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening, 1 noon class.
Something like that. Yeah.
Beautiful. So let's call it 7 classes.
Yep.
If you want that affiliate to provide a service that will keep all 180 members happy, paying customers,
probably assuming some open gym time as well.
Yep, so assuming some open gym, at a bare minimum 2, but I think in a perfect world 3 would allow that ship to run really smoothly. You have one person who maybe manages, or you have 2 of them that manage maybe more of the coaching of classes, and then one of them that manages more of the
administrative facility stuff.
Admin, facility stuff, operations, coach development, kind of more of that side of things.
Okay. So we take that 167,000.
Yep, 1,000
times 3.
3, right?
501,000 minimum level 1 trainers.
Yep.
Minimum of level 1 trainers.
Yes.
Active and working full fucking time.
I say, but not only level 1 trainers, because there are a bunch of level 1 trainers that are I just enjoy coaching my class on the weekend, or I coach the noon class once a week, and I love do it because I enjoy it. We're talking about people that are ready to put down whatever it is they're currently doing, and then pick up the sword and shield of I'm going to go change people's lives and make this a full-time profession, and I'm willing to give up whatever I currently have because this means so much to me.
Yep.
You have to have 501,000 of those people.
Let's just say 500,000. 500,000 people.
500,000. You need 500,000 people who are ready to put down what they're doing, pick up their sword and shield, and dive into battle as a full-time professional coach. Now, for that to happen, you got to have more than just there's going to be more than just the passion and enjoyment of doing it.
Right.
It's you have to be able to make enough money where you can put down whatever it is that you're doing to go do this thing over here.
Right.
Because
So then, that's almost 4 times the current number of trainers that we have.
Of all levels.
Of all levels. So you need 10x.
Like what? Like we have like
the number of. We've got like 127,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
125,000.
So we need 10x the number of affiliates. We need 4 times the number of trainers, which means everyone who's already a trainer can't stop. They got to stick around.
You can't quit. You don't get to quit.
So like, so let's come back to this, right?
Yeah.
So let's assume we want 30 million people. Let's come back to that. Times 127. I get that. Half a million.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
What do those trainers got to make to be considered full time minimum? What's the minimum annual take home?
Currently?
No. Like in a hypothetical world where I want half a million full-time trainers. Let's across the world. Let's say,
like if you want to pull 500,000 people into the field of coaching, what do you have to kind of like pay them?
What do they got to take home?
Oh, I'm gonna go do this over here.
Right.
Wow. Well, because it kind of like, that's a great question. Because in my head, I have like a couple numbers bouncing around. But I think,
and this is coming as two people who were full-time trainers in gyms and have struggled with that.
Currently am.
And one who still is currently.
Who still is full-time trainer. And, it's, fuck off, fly. I think, if you're going to like tempt this, flies
on your fucking face.
Yeah, it was. I tried to like not hit myself on the video, but, I think it really depends on like, where the person would be coming from and then leaving that to go do fitness. Like, cause if I'm, Mr. Finance Tech Bro, and I'm like, I make $500,000 a year, and
those people, we're not going to get those people.
Well, but I'm just thinking, okay,
I understand.
I'm just thinking like casting a broad net, but
I get that. Think minimum effective dose.
Okay, minimum effective dose. I would say like at a bare minimum, 60K a year as like a salary.
60K. Okay,
at a bare minimum.
I have some head coaches and GMs who I know who in their facilities their dream salary is 40. And they ain't making that now. So let's split the difference. Let's call it 50K.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So 50K. So that number, 500,000 times $50,000 is thousand. Hang on. I got to make sure I did that right.
You got to like count the zeros.
Yeah, I really.
Wait, move the decimal, carry the 3, divide by pi. Holy shit.
1,000 million.
Math.
25 billion with a B, 5 million. Okay. That's payroll expense only.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
divide that by how many affiliates you need. So how much does each affiliate need to make?
Hang on. We're getting there, right?
Okay. I'm just skipping steps. Continue.
Let's assume that the overhead cost, let's assume that payroll for those for those full-time coaches accounts for 75% of the operating cost of the affiliate.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then if that number, 25 billion, is 75% of the cost.
Yep.
Then the actual cost to get the affiliate running and to pay those people is $33.34 billion.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Divided by 30 million.
I thought it was divided by 167,000. Which is the number of affiliates we need.
No. We're doing like this is now the per
person
cost.
Per person. Okay, go ahead. So it's annually, right? So divide that into monthly payments, which is usually your monthly membership.
Okay, yeah. So annually,
right? Okay, I'm not high because that's annual cost per person because we're going off annual numbers here.
That's actually really reasonable. That's not terrible.
Okay, what's the monthly cost per person?
$92.
$92, that's it?
This is 30 million humans.
Well, sure, but I was expecting it to be like $500 a month, like something that was $92
a month times 12 months is $1,111. Right. So that's per year per person. Right. That times 30 million people is 33 billion, $339,600,000.
Yeah.
Right, mathing.
Yeah,
so
mathing.
That's not a lot.
No, that's way more reasonable than I fucking thought. I thought you were
Right?
gonna like sit there, like look at the thing, be like, holy fuck nuggets, it's $500 a month.
I
And
forgot
then
about the per year, and I was looking at
right.
$1,000 per month, and I was like, oh shit.
You were like, holy shit. Well, so that's where like I thought you were gonna come back with when I said, hey, divide it monthly.
Yeah.
And you did it, and I was like, he's gonna come back with it's like $500 a month, and then our tens of listeners are gonna be like, I can't pay $500 a month to go to the gym. You know, and then that just opens up a whole nother can of worms, because I've told you that like we had said this on a podcast where I'd asked the question to some members of how much would I have to pay you per month to never come back to an affiliate and never do CrossFit again.
Yeah.
And the numbers ranged from like just under 1,000 to like multiple thousands of dollars for those that gave me a number. And then I would say 75% of my members were trying to find a loophole. They were like, well, does this count as CrossFit? What about this? Can I still like work out in my garage with my friend and do burpees? They're like trying to find a loophole. And I'm like, the fact that you're trying to find a loophole is giving me my answer, is that you can't put a price on how much value CrossFit and this gym and the affiliate and your coaches have given you and brought into your life. And people are like, yep. And so I'm like, okay, for those of you who said it, I'd have to pay you $1,000 a month to never come back.
Right.
But our gym membership is $200 a month. The gap in between that is your coaches not making money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the money that's not getting paid to trainers and affiliate owners, which is then like potentially sometimes how gyms close.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons that go into that, but if we're talking just money, and people sat there and they're kind of like, and then immediately people go, well, I can't pay $1,000 a month. I'm like, I'm not telling you to. I'm just saying in concept. That's that's the thing.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of mathing here. Anyway, so all of this is right. Like that's a huge thing. Like,
right.
You know, 30 million people. It's a shit ton of stuff, right? So
that's a lot of people.
Back here to Mayhem, right? So what's causing this downturn? Is there a way to reverse it? That's the $1 million question, literally. We can spend hours debating, giving the myriad of variables and possibilities at play. But here at Mayhem, we relish a good debate, so let's dive in. Here's our take. It's surprisingly straightforward. It's all about the CrossFit community, which I feel is like a
cop-out answer. That's a cop-out answer.
And we could talk, and like this, there's a reason why they're saying what they're saying. So
I know.
It continues. The CrossFit community is unlike any other in the world of sports. First of all, I hate that they said sports. That drives me nuts. But
because
that's neither
CrossFit
here nor
is a method. Yeah,
exactly.
Continue.
It has genuinely transformed lives, both physically and mentally. For some, it has replaced unhealthy habits with positive ones. For others, it's injected purpose and hope into their lives. Sounds pretty similar, said differently. Many have learned to persevere and live life to the fullest, all because of the bonds formed while sweating through a workout together. They know that enduring the grind together only brings them closer and makes them better in the long run. If CrossFit has made a positive impact on your life, it's time to pay it forward. Share your story and invite others to experience the magic of your local affiliate. Never forget, the community is where it all began. It's the heartbeat of CrossFit. I don't know if the community is where it all began, but I don't think it's a bad sentiment.
No, I
right.
I'm not mad at that.
So the follow-up email that they sent the next day is this.
Hey, we're increasing rates.
No, but this is like genius level marketing. This is really great level marketing, right?
They do a great job.
They do. Happy October, Mayhem Nation. CrossFit isn't just about intense workouts, the grand stadiums, or the sponsorships. It's about the heart and soul of the incredible people who are part of this amazing sport. Without the community, CrossFit would be nothing more than a set of movements and workouts. It's the people who breathe life into it who make it extraordinary. There's a unique magic in CrossFit and our community. We've not just witnessed it firsthand, but have also lived it. Each one of us has our own story with CrossFit and how it's impacted our lives. That's the power of CrossFit. It goes beyond the physical. That part is 100% true. People walk into a CrossFit gym for the first time thinking they're just going to do workout, or they're getting just a workout, but end up getting so much more. All of us are the essence of Mayhem and CrossFit. We don't talk about this enough, which is one reason why we decided to make a documentary about the everyday athletes, you and me. The Heart of Mayhem documentary helps remind us the power of the roots, remind us of the power of the roots of why we fell in love with CrossFit and why we continue doing it day after day after year. and then they go on and they like tell a thing about a specific person. And so like way to clickbait the entire industry.
Oh yeah.
And then use it to talk about the Heart of Mayhem.
Yeah,
and
your
like,
documentary coming up. Yeah.
Bravo. Like,
hey. I mean, there's a reason that Mayhem has the empire that they do in the fitness space is because they're good at that shit.
Rich Froning helps.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
Well, I mean, that's kind of where it started, right? Is like Rich was like, hey, I'm good at this working out thing. I think I'm going to go win the CrossFit Games. And then he goes and wins the CrossFit Games a couple times. Yeah. And then because he's the champ and he's now got this name, he goes, cool. Like and like not taking anything away from Rich, but like his ability to create that platform for himself by being good at the sport of CrossFit and dominating it for as long as he has allowed him to be like, if I just slap my name on something, build it and they will come.
Yeah. Well, and if nothing else, his willingness to let other people do like hire good people.
Oh,
like,
yeah, 1,000%. Yeah. He's built a team, but also like that team is a very close knit. Like you're not allowed to be a part of Mayhem, like, you know, apart from a like, you know, you're not allowed to work for Mayhem, be a part of that team unless you are in Cookeville.
Yeah.
And I know that like if you want a job for Mayhem, even if it's something that could be done remotely, you're like, I'm the video editor. Yeah. And that could be done remotely. They're like, homie, you want to be a part of the team, you come to Cookeville. And that's it.
I'd be good
like,
on them.
That's the terms. And I'm like, and I respect it. I respect it. You like, I've created this whole thing and this is what we do.
Yeah.
We do it this way with these types of people. And like, that's good on them.
Okay. So let's, so, I mean, is CrossFit over? Absolutely not.
Absolutely
Is CrossFit in trouble?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, I know I said that a lot more like surely than Sam did, but it's the same sentiment. Like, I don't think, you know, the level at which they are in trouble is up for interpretation based on who you ask in the day and whether Mercury's in Gatorade or not. But I think you'd be really hard pressed to not be able to see that CrossFit is a little bit in trouble.
Right.
The wheels are starting to come off, and you need Luigi from Cars to come in there with his pit crew and just.
Right. So, okay. So I'm going to share a little screen here.
Sure.
So are they wrong? Share screen. Share. CrossFit.
Are who wrong?
Google Trends. Is CrossFit wrong? No. Or is Mayhem wrong? No, Mayhem's not wrong.
No.
Oh, no. I want this one. So these are the Google Trends over time. Obviously, the spikes, I'll give you one clue about what the spikes are, right? Look at the dates, right?
Yeah.
So we know when it's spiking. But overall, I mean, there's very clearly a downward trend from when is this? This is February of 2019. So this is the last 5 years, search term CrossFit, through to this. And I think these are values. So this is partial data incomplete. Interest over time. A value of 50 mean the terms is half as popular. A score of 0 means there's not enough data. So peak popularity. Let's do this. Let's take 2004 to present, right? Thank God for Google. Peak popularity was CrossFit Games season 2013.
Wow, really?
Yes. In the last 10 years. Like that.
Steady trend line on the way down.
Right.
Well, so I wonder if that's like a function of, and you can use it for like a clickbaity like title, like, oh, CrossFit's over, and we looked at the Google Trends and like did the same thing Sam's doing. I would imagine that just someone at Mayhem did what Sam is doing.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that downward trend line from 2013 to now, because it's like it's been pretty steady, and there's basically 2 peaks each year, and I'm guessing the peaks are like open games would be my guess.
So February, March. And July.
Yep.
February, March, and
July. Yep. So I'm wondering if like just the decline is due to over time just more people know about CrossFit, so they don't need to Google it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like it's
Yeah.
been around so long that even like the person that's doing, like they are looking to get into working out and get into fitness.
Yeah.
They don't need to Google what is CrossFit
Yeah.
because they've seen it. Like I saw this thing on ESPN, like it shows up in my sponsored bits on Instagram. Like I know what CrossFit is, so they don't
Yeah.
need to Google search it, you know?
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's part of it, because 2013 was kind of when the game started to get really big.
So I would say, so if Greg Glassman is to be believed, when he was at the Harvard School of Divinity, I believe it was the Harvard School of Divinity. I could be wrong about this, but at the Harvard School of Divinity in 2015, he gave a speech for CrossFit as Church, and I believe it was then that he said, it might be later in 2018, but somewhere in that window, he said that there were between 3 and 4 million CrossFitters.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an estimation based on things like the amount of equipment that was being purchased, right? Because like if it's less than that or more than that, then the amount of equipment that's being purchased from like Rogue and Fringe Sport and again faster, it doesn't make sense. Like either if it's under that, then people are buying way more than they need. If it's over that, then like there's not enough for everybody.
There's not enough equipment. Yeah,
exactly.
Fair enough.
That was this range of time here, right? So that's 2018, and this is 2016, 2015. So somewhere in here, he estimated there to be between 3 and 4 million CrossFitters. I assume that number has gone up in some way, shape, or form, even if the people who are practicing CrossFit aren't doing it at an actual affiliate.
Yeah, I would assume so.
I would
especially after 2020. I think the amount of garage gymmers has skyrocketed. The amount of people who just like built out a baller garage gym or dungeon gym was like went through the roof for sure. Couldn't get a fucking rower anywhere.
Right. And if a bunch of, and so here's some scuttlebutt, like if this is to be believed, there are a significant number of people who are on CrossFit seminar staff who do not work out at affiliates. Right. They work out in garage gyms as an example, right? So I would bet if we had a matching chart overlaid of number of people who were members at an affiliate, it would rise and there'd be an intersection somewhere in here to whatever is a current level.
Yep. But I think you'd see that exactly as you just said, like a rise and intersection somewhere in the middle there as they like the graphs kind of pass. It continues building up, and then I think like in 2020, I think you see like a relatively sharp decline for that year.
Yep.
And then maybe like a level off and like a slight incline as people like come back into a gym, you know?
Yep. CrossFit as a topic. So CrossFit wasn't really a topic before that. And what do we get? HWPO, CrossFit as a book. Let's do
CrossFit gyms.
CrossFit games.
Oh,
like nowhere near the same number, the same level of search volume. Yeah, CrossFit in general, CrossFit as a company, CrossFit as a topic, like those don't even.
What about like a CrossFit affiliate? What about like if you search like CrossFit gyms?
It would probably be something like CrossFit near me. Not even close. Wow. Yeah, like
so it really kind of shows like at least what that's telling me is just, you know, when Mayhem goes, hey, like tell your friends, bring them in, like bring people you care about into the gym.
Yeah.
Like that is the primary, up to this point has been the primary driver of bringing people into an affiliate. Other than like an Instagram ad or something.
Well, I think that a lot of people search CrossFit and the results that they get are including local. Yes, including local results.
Fair enough.
And I think that's partly because the people who come into CrossFit, more than once I've had this discussion, where the people who come into CrossFit think that CrossFit HQ owns every CrossFit gym. That it's a franchise model.
Or that all CrossFit gyms are the same.
Same thing. And so they don't understand that like each one is a standalone business. There's different cultures and, you know, blah, 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 blah. So it's interesting to look at that data and get that understanding. And then to be able to like talk about it. I think that is CrossFit over? Certainly not, but also it ain't in a healthy place.
No, And there's a lot of things for that. I think,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we've talked about this. You've talked about this on $1 Million Coach and affiliate, like gyms don't charge enough, and people might not like to hear that, but gyms don't charge enough. For the service that you get, for the life altering everything that happens within the four walls of an affiliate, CrossFit gyms as a whole don't charge enough. And if you like, I know gyms that like didn't raise their rates for like a decade. They just like nope, we charge this, and it's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're not increasing your rates, you're losing money over time as the cost of everything and the cost of operations. And I guarantee you that your landlord has increased rent on you. And but like, I don't know, people are so afraid to be like, no, we're worth this much.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. Let's say there's 5 million CrossFitters currently.
Sure. I think that's a safe guesstimation.
Let's assume they pay times.
I think what was the average?
It's called 150.
Yeah, I was going to say 150.
So that's per month times 12. That's per year. That's $9 billion a year. Divided by 127 times. Because they pay more than that. No.
Wait, I don't know where you're going with this. I lost you.
So like $70,000. What's 70% of $70,000? 70. Escape times 0.75. I mean, most gyms, assuming everything else goes well, assuming they keep, their other expenses to 25% of their total and stuff like that, assuming that all 5 million people are paying full-time unlimited memberships on a monthly basis of $150 for every currently credentialed trainer, 127,000 of them, that's a salary of $50,500. That's assuming, therefore, that one of those must be the actual owner, right? And certainly some gyms are doing better than that. So like if there is an owner, then, what's that? 127,400 divided by, what is it, 13?
Yeah, 13,000.
Yeah, that assumes 9.77 trainers per gym, which
a bit high.
It's a bit high. Yeah, that ain't happening. No. So there's obviously some disparity here. Like, some regions make a lot more. Some regions make a lot less. Some regions charge a lot more. Some regions charge a lot less. Some gyms charge a lot more. Some gyms charge a lot less. Some gyms are not aware of what they should charge. They just look at the place down the street and they're like, well, we sell CrossFit. They sell CrossFit. I can't charge more than they do.
You don't sell CrossFit.
You don't sell CrossFit.
You don't sell CrossFit. Well, right. But it's like Trader Joe's sells avocados, Whole Foods sells avocados, but one of those is $3 more per avocado. People are still going to Whole Foods and buying fucking avocados.
Amen to that. I can't imagine.
I have one moment per podcast where I say something that's really per podcast, whatever it is, whatever we're doing.
This thing. I think that it would be nice if we had better data. And part of it, this is a huge issue. Is I'm just sitting here with a calculator and guessing, and we're making a
lot of assumptions.
Some more assumptions.
We're making a lot of assumptions on how many people are doing CrossFit. Are they are they paying a full-time membership? What is the average full-time membership? Because a lot of gyms offer discounted memberships and 3 times per week and a punch card and a class pass and a drop-in and which we can argue you can argue up, down, sideways about whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent. I know I have my thoughts on it. I know they're aligned with your thoughts on it, but
I mean, short version, it's wrong.
Well, yes, short version is you're doing yourself a disservice if you're offering all those different.
Well, you're certainly complicating things. The hard part is it's a 2-part equation, right? So there's price and there's value. And back to your comment about what would I have to pay you to never do CrossFit again? That's discerning the value of CrossFit.
Yes.
But as an ecosystem, we have decided, and I say we as in the populace of people who CrossFit, we've decided that $150 a month is about the going rate, right?
Yep.
Never mind the fact that an Orange Theory membership could run you as much as $300 a month. And we don't have anything to demonstrate that you're getting a better product, right?
I would argue you're not getting a better product, but that's
I don't know enough about Orange Theory let's put it this way. I know enough about Orange Theory to know that they don't have an entire education system and a methodology. There's no level 1 trainer manual, like
right.
None of
no
that's
level 2 trainer manual. No,
none of that's happening in an Orange Theory. And so we've got this amazing platform and education system with CrossFit, and it's hard for people to convince themselves, one, that they want to pay more than, call it $150 a month. It's also hard for coaches and affiliate owners to stand up and be like, we're worth more than that, when they've never
considered. That's really hard.
If they've never been taught how to think about value versus price, right? And then on top of that, and this isn't a knock, but we kind of like with the hot takes episode, where it's like, hey, don't screw around, be a professional. For a lot of people, for better or for worse, a CrossFit trainer, the occupation is a transient one. It's they do it part-time. It's the thing that they do before they get the real job, quote unquote.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's our own fault as a trainer community.
It is. And I also think that because of, I don't know, people's opinions, thoughts, like what they observe about, someone working in a gym.
Yeah.
Like I've kind of made this joke to some people where it's like, if I, get the comment of like, if I wanted to go get a job somewhere else, if I was like, I'm done coaching, I'm going to go try and get a job over here. Even though like I have management experience, like I've been running affiliates for, the past 7 years of my life,
sure.
Have all these different credentials, all these other different skills that come with full-time coaching. If I were to go put in an application somewhere, as soon as someone sees I'm like head coach at a CrossFit gym, they go, oh, this guy's full-time job has just been sweatpants for the past 10 years. Like that's what it is. And that's what a lot of people are going to see is like, oh, he's just worked in a gym. Like, and for those that don't understand coaching as a profession, that might seem like, well, what is he doing? Like, what kind of skills can you garner with that, or, whatever. But
sure.
Like that definitely is part of it. Like when you're trying to tell people, hey, this is the value of me. And they're like, oh, well, you just work in a gym.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I work in a gym. I work in a gym fucking changing your life over here.
Yeah.
But that it's hard to connect those dots for some people. And that's part of the equation and part of the reason why, for sure.
Well, and here's another take on this. And this is something that went out publicly. It's going to appear on the next, one of the webinars we put on for coaches internally for Fit Affiliate was talking about mindset mandates. So like, how do you change your mindset as an entrepreneur? Christina Anderson, level 4 CrossFit coach, absolute badass. Christina Anderson, before she was in a position to like action and make take advantage of the traction that she has, like she's a regular person. She's got, a family. She's trying to pay bills and stuff like that. And there was one point where she says, I went and like in a moment of despair, like applied for a manager position at a Target, and they were going to pay her $70,000 a year. To be the manager at a Target.
Listen, bro, like if we're full all cards table, like, listen, I've been there.
Yeah.
At multiple times where I sit there and I go, fuck, like I'm pouring my heart and soul into everything for 10 years and my salary has stayed the same for 10 years. I'm making the same amount of money. If we're like, I'm going to put full cards on the table. I don't care. It's like I got into CrossFit coaching, what I'll essentially call full time, when I was 18. I was in college and, was assisting running affiliate at that point, 18 years old. I was lucky enough that I had an affiliate in Maine that, gym owner Allie, who took me under her wing and, showed me a lot of stuff. And I had a bunch of fun times in that gym. And then when I moved down to Boston, like got in with the crew of CrossFit One Nation and now over here at CrossFit Tilt. And like I've spent 10 years, what you could argue, mastering my craft and, getting myself to what I would call the pinnacle of it, where, I've got my level 3, I'll wait to see Sam's master class on the level 4. And then I'll just use that as a cheat sheet.
I was talking about a client. Go ahead, finish your story. I'll come back to that.
But like, application in for seminar staff, like all that good stuff, like have kind of reached the upper echelons of the field to still be making the same salary as I was a decade ago is like, there comes a point where that sinks in and you go, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what have I been doing? And I know that what I do in here is meaningful. And it's the thing that kind of keeps me going. And, I have some phenomenal friends. I have my little mini Sam in my head that kind of continues to steer me in the right direction as I navigate it.
Oh, he's steering you. I don't know if it's in the right direction.
I've just given him the wheel and he's like, all right, bitch, watch this, shift into 6th and whoop, off we go. But like, I've been there. And the same thing with Christina, where you're just like, maybe I should go do something else. Like, because at some point, especially like I went through that again when we found out we were having a kid. I had a full panic mode where I hit the panic button and went, oh fuck, I have to support a family now. And it's not just like it's just me and Sammy, like we can make it through. It's like, oh no, I have a child. That child needs to be cared for. And I hold myself to a set of standards, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a lot packed into that sentence.
There's a lot packed into that sentence, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm sure a psychologist can have a field day with it, but I hold myself to a set of standards. I refuse to let that slip. And, it's tough.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well,
so go ahead. You're going to say something about your level 4.
Well, so I
brought it up.
I was on the phone with a client and she's like, I'm very excited for you to get your level 4. And I said, I'm not making any assumptions. This is a real deal thing. It's very difficult. I know some good coaches who have gone and failed. Yep. And so like, I'm not taking anything for granted, but also I'm not going there I'm there to win. So like, I'm taking this shit seriously.
That's the same thing. This is where this is where this works, because I'm the same thing. Like if I'm going to go do anything, I'm out for blood. I'm going to go win. There is no halfway. If I'm doing something, I'm going to be the best at it or damn near close to the best at it. And like, I dare you to try and outwork me.
Right.
Like that kind of,
Well, so let's put cards on the table. So we got I got a handful of minutes, right? So we're going to put cards on the table, right? So we've outlined a whole bunch of issues, right? So there's CrossFit and affiliates. There's decline in search terms, many reasons why there could be a decline in search terms. Maybe a decline in membership, hopefully not, right? Not a decline in the need, right? For trainers, for coaches, for the people who need those services. And the thing that I've been working on for the last year is trying to set up a system where, and this is, going back to, Kevin is he's still in that full-time CrossFit trainer thing. And I did that gig. For a long time.
Yep.
And I looked into affiliate ownership and, it wasn't a good deal for what I was looking at.
What you were looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. There's my wife is being like, what are you doing? Sorry. What, this? Sorry, honey. I'm over here making noise.
Yeah.
And I think that the last year of my life has been focused on taking this thing that I believe in, but also understanding that I could go into an affiliate and I could spend a lot of time and not get the return on investment that I was hoping for as a coach. And so instead, what I did is I started a business and I built a system that allowed me to offer tremendous value and make substantive changes in people's lives. And like the clients who came and worked with me, they saw results and at a level and at a pace that they had not been able to do inside of an affiliate. And now what I see as my true goal is hiring other coaches, because I have lived exactly. So I have lived as the full-time trainer who's looking at the bank statement being like, son of a bitch, what's going on
Yeah.
here? And so instead now what I'm doing is I'm going to think of this whole thing as a mobile affiliate, as a remote affiliate.
Yeah.
Where
Ooh, okay. Wow.
let's take this thing that we know and we love and
Yep.
disassociate it from
a physical location,
from the brick and mortar space. And
yeah.
so Kevin is an example. Kevin's a guy who has come into Motivateful and works under the umbrella, and Kevin has his own stable of clients. And the intent, full disclosure, is to create a system and a platform that allows Kevin to change his life by finding other people whose lives he can change, right? And so what I'll say is this: we can talk 6.5 Ways to Sunday about all the things that are wrong. None of that is helping. Everybody can talk about things that are wrong.
Yep.
If you are a CrossFit coach and you are sick and tired, and you're listening to this and you're sick and tired of making $20 an hour, come talk to me. Because what I can tell you is that you can spend a lot of time in the gym and you can make $20 an hour, or you can focus on changing one person's life and make 5 times that amount. And if you don't believe me, come talk to me. And
if you don't believe him, come talk to me.
Yeah.
Because he took me through it. I remember the first conversation we had. Sam was like, he was like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, fuck right off out of here, man. Like, what are you talking about? And I hear him on the $1 Million Coach podcast. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, you're saying a whole bunch of stuff and whatever. And then he like really sat down with me. He's like, listen, fuckwit, sit down. We're going to talk about this. Because again, as a good friend is, Sam's like, I'm going to kill you with kindness. And so he sat me down and was like, this is what it is. This is exactly how it works. You know, the whole thing. And I sat there and I was like, it took a bit, probably longer than Sam wanted, from like me to like wrap my head around it and like open my brain to it. Yeah. But we're at a point where I did the thing and I went, holy fucking shit. Yeah. Like, he wasn't just making it up. He's not pulling stuff out his ass. He's not like, he's got the real deal thing. And, you know, if you'd like to also have a mini Sam in your head, come chat to me, because it's a great thing to have, for sure.
Well, and I'll tell you, my goal for Kevin is for him to retire. Like, I want him to take his daughter and his wife and go to Paris and work with his clients from a laptop in a cafe in Paris.
That'd be amazing. Where's got the best coffee? Does Italy? I know Italy had like
Italy's got some
espresso.
damn good coffee. Yeah.
So let's go to Italy
only
then,
in the
man.
morning.
Like, only in the morning? Don't they have like coffee all fucking day? They're like 9 p.m. They're like, give me a fucking
It's this cultural
espresso
thing where it's like, you don't order espresso afternoon.
Okay. Well, that's fine by me, because I usually cut off caffeine consumption by noon. So that's fine by me. But I'll just have 7 espressos. And so like I'll have 7 espressos like in the morning. Yeah. And then just bread and cheese and pasta for the rest of the day. And that sounds great.
Yeah. Like I want this same thing. I want CrossFit coaches to stick around and to help other CrossFit coaches, but they've got to have something. And right now I don't know another affiliate that can do what I can offer to people. So if there is, fantastic.
At least not in the short term. If all goes well and like CrossFit continues to move in the right direction and like the right things happen, then maybe one day we're at a point where it's like, hey, you're a full-time CrossFit coach, guy. It's like, cool, I'll pay you $100,000 to run this gym and coach the people. And then you're like, sick. But until then, if you want to not make $20 an hour as a CrossFit coach, please come talk to me and we'll see if we can't change your life. Yeah. I think that's as good a place as any to end on this. And I think that I'd say so. We've got Instagram handles in the video thing. So you can, like, if you're like, hey, hit us up, like, let's talk about it. Let's chat.
Please.
I'm interested because I posted on Instagram, Mickey from CrossFit Boston, like posted his thing about like, you know, full-time CrossFit coach in the Boston area should make $120,000 a year. Like, you know, yes or no. And I took that, like, kind of like reposted it with the poll and was like, you know, like, he's asking a big question, like, just curious, do you agree or disagree? And so I haven't checked in a little bit, but there were a couple people that disagreed. There were a handful of people that had agreed, and there were a few people that messaged me like somewhere in between. And so one thing I'll kind of post afterwards, be like, hey, for those of you guys that answered yes, no, or like sent me a thing, like I want your reasoning, because it's an interesting conversation to have. Like why yes, why no, and and looking more from the value side of things, not just like, oh, well, it'd be really hard for an affiliate to pay you that much. I'm like, not talking logistics. I want to know like why you think that position is either worth it or not.
Yeah.
Just because it's interesting.
I think it's a great question to ask.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then post that. We can talk about that next week.
Sweet.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Kevin, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
All right, homie. Everyone else, come back next week. We're going to talk about exactly how much you think we're worth.
Yeah. I could get it. That could be a whole can of worms.
That's going to be a problem. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Everywhere.